Hello friend, Namaskar, I am JK. In the series of Science and Spirituality, which is we are discussing with Dr. K. Mohan sir, and he enlightened us very well manner. Sir, I have one question. Sir, can you elaborate the science and spirituality stand for and why it is necessary to keep balance both of them?
Very fantastic question, Mr. J.K. Singh, you have asked me. I will certainly like to elaborate what science and spirituality stand for and why it is necessary to keep a balance of both. Spirituality is about integrity. It helps us to find meaning in life, provides a foundation of our values to guide us in the way we behave with self, others, and the world around us. Spirituality is the science of human growth for self-transformation and also for world transformation through peace and purity. Albert Einstein once said, "No problem can be solved from the same consciousness that created it. We must learn to see the world anew." Spirituality is an attitude that is positive and looking at the best in everyone and everything. Spirituality is an inner journey to discover inner peace and all about expanding our capability to live, love, and learn. Spirituality is the process of balance between dharma and karma. Spirituality is the process of self-transformation from impure consciousness to pure consciousness to achieve inner peace, happiness, and prosperity. Therefore, spirituality is pious. It provides stability to oneself and keep us moving in positive direction, being our own teacher and a guide in the process of life. Whereas, when we talk about science, it not only brings true knowledge, factual knowledge, with logic and evidences. In pursuit of rational knowledge, people started questioning religious beliefs. More than scientific discoveries, more the question on belief system. Science has a more rational approach. It is a work of logic and proofs. No matter what amount of scientific knowledge we may possess, it will be very little compared to the vast mysteries of the world, and this void will be filled by spirituality, which has answered by science time and again. Spirituality fills those gaps and curiosity positively. Spirituality itself is extremely scientific because it wants to examine the world and its nature. Just like the scientist, it wants to look at the world, it wants to observe the world and see what the world really is. Where does it come from? What happens to it? How does one perceive it? How does it changes? How does it end? It observes all its processes, its dissolution, its making, everything. Spirituality is very scientific, and then spirituality goes beyond science. How? Science stops at the world, spirituality looks at the world, then looks at the self, then sees the direct relation between the world and the self, and hence the two as one. For science, that which cannot be detected does not exist. If something can just not be detected, absolutely undetectable it is, then science will say it doesn't exist. Spirituality says my instruments for detection are very limited. I detect using my senses and my intellect, which are quite limited. Something that cannot be thus detected may also exist. In fact, it may be more real than what the senses announce as real. Spirituality thus lacks the arrogance of science. Science says, if my eyes can see, look at it, only then it exists. Spirituality says, but first of all, am I sure that my eyes are an instrument capable enough to tell me the truth? Spirituality is an honest, brutally honest search for the truth. Spirituality is deeply scientific and so very scientific that it translates science. Science without spirituality is not only incomplete but also vulnerable. Such science is more likely to be misused and exploited by vested interest. It works for only those who can pay for it. It aims to satisfy one's greed rather than need. In a nutshell, to meet the crisis of humanity, the coordination of science and spirituality is inevitable. Mahatma Gandhi once said that if both science and spirituality go hand in hand, then one can create heaven on the holy earth. Sustainable development is the need of the hour, and this is possible only with the coordination of science and spirituality. Let us believe in building a better tomorrow and take steps toward it. If science and spirituality both need sound mind, so it depends who is trying to integrate both opposite processes for the benefit of self or society. For example, music is basically spiritual. At the same time, it can cure some psychological problems. Mostly all natural phenomena show science and spirituality at the same time. Look at waterfall, kinetic energy and musical sounds at the same time. By the way, science is very funny. It helps humans understand how their ancestors were fools to believe more scientific situations as miracles. Science and spirituality coexist. Spirituality pitch in where science is absent. Everything in the world is made of both science and spirituality. They both have their strength and weaknesses. Yes, balance is the key. It is like walking on the tightrope. Science makes life easy. Spirituality adds beauty to that life. It is individual's choice to decide how much of each would go into the life based on his experiences. Science is inclusive, but spiritual experiences are exclusive.